Hi, I'm Paris, and I've been a big fan of oatmeal as part of a healthy breakfast for over 20 years. I've eaten a lot of bowls of it, and from early on I made a point of getting steel cut oatmeal because I believe that's the healthiest version for me. Now, oatmeal, it's all made from oats, but how it's prepared before it gets to you and you start cooking it can make a difference in how quickly your body digests and absorbs the carbohydrates from the oatmeal. And for me, that means staying full longer with steel cut oats. But it feels like my blood sugar rise is slower and doesn't get up quite as high. Now, steel cut oats take some time to make compared to instant oatmeal. There's a reason why it's called instant. You just pour some hot water and stir it, you've got oatmeal. And again, they're all oats, it's the same food. So if that's all you have time for, I still think a bowl of instant oatmeal beats a lot of other breakfasts, especially a lot of other breakfast cereals. Still healthier than those, but you could get even healthier still if you had the time to do steel cut oats. So I looked over the oatmeal section at my local supermarket and I found this. Steel cut oatmeal with flax seeds. How great is that? And over here, a little thing in the corner says, cooks in 2.5 minutes. Well, they must have invented some magic to be able to prepare steel cut oatmeal in 2.5 minutes. And on the back, when they're talking about their ingredients, they show steel cut oats, and those really do look like the steel cut oats that take half an hour to prepare. So how is it this only takes 2.5 minutes? Because in very light print here, it says instant oatmeal. I did not see that. I ate this for probably 6 weeks before I finally realized I was eating instant oatmeal. Now that was dumb on my part, and I feel disappointing on their part because they put in the big letters steel cut oats because that has the health halo of being a very healthful product and a very healthful way of preparing the oats with steel cut. But when you think about it, what does it really mean, steel cut? It means they were cut with a steel blade. What does that actually tell you? Really not very much, because you can cut the oats into big chunks or you can cut them very fine with the steel blade. They are still steel cut. So it's all sort of vague. Now I found out the kind of steel cut oats with the big chunks are also called Irish Oats. So I decided to go to the source and I bought some steel cut oats from Ireland. Now, I'm not sure how to say the brand name. On the back though, it does say they are grown, milled, and packed in Ireland, and from the reviews I read online, people really love these both for the size of the chunks, but also because it has this nutty flavor. But this is expensive, and they don't sell it in my local supermarket, so I found that Trader Joe's has their own steel cut oats, and I've gone through a couple cans of these because they're much cheaper, a half to a third of the price of the oats from Ireland. But these don't seem to be very consistent, and so I'm not sure what their definition of steel cut is. Does it vary somewhat from larger to smaller chunks? So I decided the best way to sort this out is to take my steel cut oats that I'm considering eating. Now I bought a couple others that I have out in the dining room right now. I'm going to take all of these packages and pour some of the contents out onto a plate and look at it up close with the camera to see what the actual cut of it looks like. Then I am going to make quite a few bowls of oatmeal all at once so I can compare what it looks like when it cooks. But at least we need to see what we're working with steel cut oat meaning being so vague. We need to compare apples with apple cinnamon instant oatmeal, which is actually a whole nother beast, but I have something similar to that out on the table that I'm going to cook up too so we can compare them all. Let's get started. Here are today's contestants. First, a little make the oatmeal in its own package, and this one doesn't even claim to be steel cut oats, it's just instant oats. Here's the one that fooled me, and then we've got the Trader Joe's, and then our local store brand here throughout most of Texas is HEB, and it says steel cut oats, and then it says coarsely cut oats, but you can make it in 5 minutes. And then here's the one I can't pronounce very well that I showed you earlier. And then look at this one. This is also from Ireland. McCann's imported steel cut Irish oatmeal, certificate of award, uniformity of granulation. They really take their chunk size seriously. Here's a good view of the coarsest four, all side by side. And then the least coarse oatmeal. McCann's. And here's the flavans. Trader Joe's. HEB coarsely cut. Better Oats steel cut instant oatmeal. And the HEB instant oatmeal in the cup. I'm making the first 3 oatmeals, the chunkier ones. This is the McCann's. This is the Trader Joe's. And here's the flavans. Here's the McCann's. Nice and chunky and thick. And here's the flavans. My impression is just about as chunky, but not quite as thick, but they have different cooking directions. The flavans is 40 minutes and the McCann's is 30 minutes. Also the flavans, you put the oatmeal into cold water and start it to boil. The McCann's, you have boiling water and you add the oatmeal. So that could be some of the consistency difference. And the Trader Joe's steel cut oats. That's pretty chunky and thick as well. Pretty good for a less expensive oatmeal. And for a taste comparison, the McCann's. Good. So many big chunks. Made it through the cooking process. Chewy texture. Really isn't very soupy. I know some people like their oatmeal more soupy, but I guess you could always add more water for that. And how do the flavans oats taste? Pretty similar. The chunks are still a little bit more chewy. And surprising to me, because this one looks a little bit more soupy, the chunks are actually a little bit more chewy than the McCann's. And Trader Joe's. Interestingly, the Trader Joe's is definitely more plain tasting, and I don't know why that is. The two from Ireland are definitely have a nuttier flavor. So the Trader Joe's is more plain, but if you're going to add a bunch of berries and other things to it, that may not be an issue. However, the chunks that remain are not as large or chewy as either of the two Irish oats. Here's the HEB coarsely cut steel cut oats. And the Better Oats instant steel cut oats. The HEB coarsely cut oats definitely are thicker. This is not as coarse as the true steel cut oats, but definitely thicker than the instant oatmeal. And this is the Better Oats steel cut instant oatmeal. I'm not sure why steel cut is in the name. Boy, do I not see any chunks. And the plain old instant oatmeal with the weird color, I think, due to the flavoring and colorings that have been added. And to taste test, the HEB coarsely cut steel cut oats. Definitely, you can still feel the chunks are small, but it consists of chunks. And the steel cut instant oatmeal, how does that taste? Very creamy, not at all chunky. And the plain old instant oatmeal with flavoring. You sure do taste that flavor. Not a whole lot of texture. Here are our 3 true steel cut oats that take half hour or more to make. We have the McCann, the Flavan, and the Trader Joe's. And the oatmeals that have steel cut in the name, but take between 5 and 2 minutes to cook. This is the HEB steel cut oats coarsely cut. This is the Better Oats steel cut instant oatmeal, and this is just plain old instant oatmeal. So the coarser the oats, and the truer to the steel cut oats image that people have, the more expensive, both in time and money. We've got 30 to 40 minutes cooking time here, and the 5 to 2 minutes over here. And the prices approximately are $7, $9, $4.50, $2.50, and this one the price goes back up again because they're individually packaged in pouches, about $4.50. Now oatmeal makes for a healthy breakfast, and you'll get the same nutrition from the oatmeal with all of these. But looking to feel full longer and reduce those insulin spikes, I think I draw the line here, and I'm going to shop from here up to get the coarser oats. You can find out about all of these at the links down below this video, and I'll see you after breakfast on the next review.
There are so many choices and you don't want to stress. You want your health food at home, receiving only the best. That's what we're here for, we give honest reviews. parristx.